What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 84 of the Dragon's Den podcast. We're live and on the air. My name's Eric Hopkins, a.k.a. Jill. Welcome to the show. Joined tonight by Cap Spooby, Brandon in the top right. We've got Matthew, Indiana Jones. Yeah, we'll get to the Colts here in just a little bit. And we got Miranda Nicole on the bottom, and we might see our faceless dragon at some point here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But if not, happy to have you guys here tonight. Got a lot of pro wrestling. We've got a little bit of movie news. We've always got we got quite a bit of NFL talk tonight because it's been free agency like crazy this week, hence free agency frenzy here on the show tonight. And of course, we'll have our Rumble exclusive portion of the show at the end with our news and politics as well. Hope you guys are having a good week here, ready for the weekend. A little bit windy, a little crazy here. Got some snow possibly even coming in. I saw that. I'm going to bring it up here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been crazy with the weather around our parts here in Indiana. No doubt about it. And crazy big tornado up north. In Illinois, I think crossed into Indiana state lines. It was hucking like softball, almost small football size hail.
Yeah, it was setting records.
Yeah, it was insane. So hopefully we're supposed to get some severe weather on Sunday evening as well here. So I'm hoping it won't be anything like that. But I don't know. It could possibly be the case. It did snow on Monday, so that's kind of what I've been hearing. Yeah. So it's like crazy. That's Indiana.
Yeah,
for you.
Our friend Rich, he used to listen to us. His son posted today a screenshot of the weather for the next 7 days or 10 days. He's bitching about the sinus infection he's about to get. I can already feel mine coming.
I got one about 2-3 weeks ago, so I'm hoping that's already passed for me. But yeah, I got about a good week and a half, so it was fun. But yeah, speaking of this weather, Miranda sent us this video here. I've been seeing some videos like this of some of these semi trucks that have been blown over.
This was in Jasper.
Oh, in Indiana? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised the way the wind was whipping this morning. My apartment sounded like it was just creaking and cracking. You know, it's just crazy. I mean, it was just,
But that's what happened to his godmother, Sue. The wind got a hold of her truck.
Man.
Put it through a wall.
Oh, wow. He's all the way off the road over there.
Oh, my God.
It's just crazy. I mean, those things are top heavy anyway, but yeah, they get that crosswind.
I'm glad he was, I mean, he shouldn't have got out, but I'm glad he got out.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want it to blow, so if I could, I would. No doubt about it. But yeah, it's Frito-Lay truck, or it used to say that.
Yeah,
either way, but yeah, so hopefully everybody's
okay.
Hey,
you know what? At least it looks like he's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's always a plus. Hopefully he's going the right way on the highway.
He should have insurance and everything, so hopefully he can get all of his troubles taken care of. But
hopefully so.
That's crazy.
We got our loyal listener, Mike, in the chat. He said, evening all. What's on Matt's menu tonight?
Mine's going to do pot roast here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Baked potato from O'Charlie's with whatever I can around the kitchen.
Nice. Hopefully, whatever it is, make you all you snuggle up in your recliner again and fall asleep and get some good Z's like you did last week.
I want Mike to open with that question every week from now on.
Oh, don't tempt him. I'm always getting texts. What's he going to eat? I don't know. Probably chili.
Why does he ask me? I tell him.
Whatever it was.
I usually have a plan.
Chili, I think. Is that what you were doing?
Usually chili. Tonight is baked potato.
Oh. Well, hopefully you don't dip crackers in your baked potato, because that might be.
Yeah, I have saltines in the fridge.
All I know is all I hear, me and Brandon are talking, all I hear is.
Oh, yeah, that was bad last time. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I apologize for ruining all that stuff.
Yeah. Matt, do you like saltines and peanut butter?
Just the saltines. I can't do the peanut butter with chili.
Well, I'm okay. Minus the chili. Do you like saltines?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, me and Loki were standing in the kitchen the other day eating it.
Well, at least I know where Brandon's crackers are going to.
Yeah. Eating crackers in the kitchen. Yeah.
Let me tell you that. I want to tell the world this. I came into work today with my water bottle, and I shared a rare moment with my acquaintance Brandon.
No.
Okay. My rare moment.
Rare.
My rare moment is I come in there. I'm just my good friend John is sitting there with me, standing, and then I look over to my left shoulder. And I'm about ready to clock into work. And it's like the best feeling in the world. It's like, man, I feel rested. I'm getting ready to start my shift. I'll make some money. And then I turn around and then I see Brandon over there in the corner. And I'm like, man, my whole day just got ruined. because I just saw Brandon up there in the corner, and it.
It wasn't getting up at like 7
only-
in the morning to go to work that ruined it. It was Brandon.
No, it was seeing Brandon in a good
my
mood
only-
at work, and
Good
I
mood
was
is
like,
crazy.
and I
Good mood
was
is
like,
crazy.
yeah, I looked at Brandon. I said, yes, yeah, I'm getting ready to start my work day. And then by the time I came back, I was going to say goodbye to my acquaintance, and he was gone.
Yeah, I
It
left.
was gone like the wind.
You
It
showed
just-
up, and I was like, I don't have it in me.
It just vanished.
It was clocking out time on this weekend. Yeah, I'd be out
Yeah.
there.
Sorry,
I'm outta
Brandon.
here.
I just had to do that today.
I'll be out of here. I ain't got time.
I never get to see Brandon at work because we work on opposite shifts. So
I ain't
I
coming
try
to
to
just
leave him
see
as
you.
long as I
Sorry.
can.
I mean,
I mean,
So
so you
it's-
can
it's a
see
treat,
everybody, see all your friends.
yeah, it's a
No.
treat when I get to see Brandon because I never get to see him anymore.
No.
Mike also said in the chat, missed you last week, Miranda. Welcome back. So
I'll try to stick it out, but I don't know. I got to work in the morning again.
I'll do it. Well, hopefully we can get to the
Just stay as
politics
long as
and
you
stuff
can.
fast enough so you can do it. So for sure. But we actually got a whole lot of extra stuff when it comes to certain things tonight. So it might not take as long as you might think. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, well, you want to just jump right into it, get the ball rolling? Got some stuff to talk about. So. What? Kind of broke up there, Brandon. What'd you say?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just couldn't hear you there. All right, here we go. Okay, so I wanted to start the pro wrestling segment of the show tonight with I just thought we'd be a little bit remiss if we didn't kind of talk a little bit about what we talked about in our private chat a little bit. There was a big little deal that happened at Ohio Valley Wrestling last night, OVW. Referee Dallas Edwards was hospitalized with a brain injury following a horrific accident. Wrestlers continued to perform as he suffered seizures in the ring. I'm not going to show the video because obviously it's kind of a hard watch, but poor guy took a flying forearm off the top rope, and the referee banged his head off the mat pretty hard. At first, it looked like he was just kind of knocked out, and the wrestler who hit him checked on him, and then he didn't move for a few minutes. A lot of people probably just thought he was selling. I get that. Even the wrestlers probably thought so. But then obviously the seizures started to happen, and it was pretty rough sight to see. Which is why I'm not going to show you the video. But all things considered, after about 2 minutes of not being checked on by any sort of medical personnel, apparently he's doing much better in the hospital as he's given a thumbs up. But his girlfriend did say that he did suffer a brain injury during this incident here. So just happy to see that he's doing better. So I just wanted to extend our thoughts and prayers and well wishes to Dallas Edwards. This is rough. The big problem with this, which we talked about in our private chat, was the fact that a lot of times at indie shows like OVW, which was actually WWE's training brand, as it were, before they had their own performance center and things like that. You got guys like Batista and Randy Orton come up from OVW, but a lot of times, due to finances, these independent companies are not able to afford or maybe it's my choice too. I'm not sure, but there's no medical personnel usually at ringside as much as there is at a major show like WWE or AEW. So in this case, hopefully there was at least a hospital or at least an ambulance, I should say, there, because he did get some sort of treatment. Of course, the cameras didn't show the treatment, so we don't know who actually gave him medical attention. But either way, it's good to see here. But I just thought I'd open this up. Like Mike mentioned in our private chat too, he said that after Jerry the King Lawler suffered his on-air heart attack on Monday Night Raw several years ago, I was under the impression about probably every wrestling company in the world is like, all right, this is probably a good idea to get a ringside medical doctor on staff for all our shows, just in case something happens. But as Brandon pointed out, which I knew a lot of it anyway, that a lot of indie wrestling companies and stuff don't have the finances to do so. So should this be something that should be looked at, and should they make this more of a priority at these indie shows? I think.
Well, it has to do with money. Like I said, if your indie company doesn't have insurance, well, you have to have somewhat insurance in a sense to put on public shows where you can sell tickets and shit like that too. But who knows what that is? That doesn't rely on you, and that may not cover you getting hurt. It just may be for the venue itself
Liability.
Therefore, but that's it.
If somebody
and it's so if you get
a fan,
you get hurt, it's on you.
Yeah. Which is really sad because, like I said, I mean, a lot of times, these sort of things don't happen, of course. This is a, outlier, but this was a pretty bad incident. I mean, it really was when it comes. You don't see a lot of instances like this where it's that, but obviously the Jerry Lawler incident, obviously Owen Hart's passing was terrible. This does happen, though. But yeah, it's just kind of scary when you really think a lot of these guys go out there without any sort of a safety net when it comes to a doctor at ringside, at least.
Well, think about when we were at that one indie show and that dude, I knew it was coming. We were sitting right there. And I said to you, we should probably move over a little bit because he was jumping out of that ring. I knew that was happening. And that girl, who also knew it was going to happen, who decided not to move, took a foot right to the face. Like,
yeah,
she made that decision. But at the same time, if he did that and he got hurt, that's on him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And of course, OVW put out this statement. The part that's kind of little it says Dallas is alert and doing much better. We ask everyone to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. We will provide an update, but then they also said something along the lines of we take the health and well-being of our performers extremely seriously. If you did, though, I would think a medical ringside doctor be top priority.
I mean, especially for OVW, but I say that
one of the bigger indie companies.
Yeah, and like Dan said,
it used to be.
They don't think about the what ifs. It's like having a cook, like where you guys work. If somebody really were to get hurt there, even to get who is trained is going to take a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's after they've clocked out for the day. So this is probably going to be something that they look at in the future, is getting somebody there.
Especially after this.
Takes money. And then you wonder why ticket prices go up. So if they have to pay a doctor or any kind of emergency crew, ticket prices are going to go up.
Yeah, for sure.
And OVW isn't what it used to be. I watched a little Netflix documentary or series that was on there. It's OVW. Al Snow's running it, if I'm not mistaken. The backing that they have is from this. It's like a local guy. He has money. Don't get me wrong, but not like that.
No. I mean it.
This is more of like a home promotion in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, is where.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just like a little. It's not the same OVW that Rollins and them came from. That's
is it not? Okay.
Now. No.
Oh. But it was based in Kentucky, though, the OVW, Ohio Valley.
Yes.
It's just a little different.
Used to be. That's what it used to be. But OVW became NXT before NXT blew up and became what it was.
Then they moved to Florida.
Yep. So, it's not the same OVW. It doesn't have the financial backing that it used to have.
Gotcha. Well, and what really made this worse was, like I said, the wrestlers, I think at first thought, okay, he's just knocked out or he's selling. But once he started to seizure and twitch or whatever, it got one of the wrestlers, I believe his name is Tony Evans, I believe, says rolls him out of the way, but then he also kicked him.
Ironic.
I know, but he also kicked him, and it was the kick that was like, yo, bro, and even moving him like that was probably not.
Sounds
good
about right, though.
But it's like it's just one of those deals. It's like, you kind of would hope that
they didn't stop. They didn't.
Yeah, they just kept going. Now, obviously, about 30 seconds later, they all kind of stopped. Like, yo, what's going on? He's not supposed to be doing it. And then of course,
you gotta wonder. I'm just gonna say this: I've never been in a ring as a wrestler, but as a wrestler, you gotta think: is he overselling? What the fuck's going on? You don't. think he's gonna have a seizure,
right?
So,
I mean, that's one hell of an oversell for sure.
Also, was this an accident or was that spot planned?
Right.
Because
they should know that
a lot. So, if the spot was planned, he's supposed to be here for this breakup or this pin count. If that's not happening, you should immediately look at that point to see where he's at and what's going on.
That's why I think at first they were like, okay, he's out, but maybe he's selling. But clearly he wasn't moving; he was out. And then the seizure part happened, and it was just a scary.
And I could imagine, especially for a referee, you're not trained to really take bumps like these guys are trained to take bumps. Don't get me wrong; you'll get the bare minimum because just in case you have to take a bump. You know what I mean? But not all the time.
Right.
So he does not have the bump or mat experience that either one of those two dudes have. So him taking that shot, I mean, he probably really took that fucking shot.
Oh, he did.
Does he have a history of seizures, or was this a result of the injury?
That I haven't heard of anything about a history, but the way the video, it like the guy coming off the top rope here, as you can see in the picture, did kind of land on him high on almost his chest and head area, so it almost might have driven his head into the mat harder. It definitely looked like he bounced his head off the mat really rough. So I think that's what did it. But
watching the video, it didn't seem like it was intentional.
No, I mean, it was a complete accident, no doubt about it. But
so then he had no idea it was coming. Nobody did. So he ate that whole thing. That's crazy.
I mean, I think the bump was planned, but it's just I don't think it went out. That's the way it appeared to me. I could be wrong, but it appeared to me like he was supposed to take the bump, but it just went awry, unfortunately.
That's what it is. Like wrestling is
wrestling, man.
It's a sport of chance, dude. There's sometimes
it really is.
You can do a same spot, you can do a move 1,000 times flawlessly. Nothing ever happened. You can do that same move one night that you've done 1,000 times, and that's the night that you break a collarbone or something.
Just like when Chase broke his neck.
Yeah. He bumped like that 1,000 times. You never want to miss
Maybe not 1,000 because he was only like 19, but
yeah. Well, you know what I mean. He took that bump a lot.
Yeah.
And it just that one time.
That I always go back to Big E on a more professional level here. I mean, that was just a simple belly to back or belly to belly suplex over the back, and he just come down to the top of his head, and it's missed time is all it was. Mike said, Brandon, when you wrestled, was there a protocol of some kind with a ref bump?
Don't even finish that sentence. Don't even finish that sentence. No, not a chance. Not one. The first show I ever went to, the guy got his head busted open with a chair. He had 7 staples in the back of his skull. No, he went to the hospital. He told him some other things happened, and that's what happened to him. That's how he got a head injury. He didn't tell him he was wrestling.
There's no protocol whatsoever where wrestlers will check on the ref occasionally, maybe in big time.
Our refs were other wrestlers in a church. Like,
yeah, but okay, so yes, there was, but there wasn't a set. Hey, do this if this happens. But yeah, wrestlers would check on you. Refs would check on them.
Oh yeah, we get after a big spot and it looks bad, somebody will come over and tap you.
And that's when that's where I learned. You'll even see it you'll see it in WWE.
Yeah, this is a learning.
The head nod or the
squeezing of the hand.
I was about to say this is a teachable moment for Matt. So like if you ever see a wrestler down on the mat, you'll see the referee after like a big fall or whatever. You'll see the referee, they'll grab their hand and then they'll squeeze the referee's hand to let them know that they're okay.
Or you'll see other wrestlers tap the inside of another wrestler's thigh.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And if you see the X from the referee, it usually means legit injury.
That sounds bad.
Most of the time when I've ever seen it before, it's usually after like a table spot.
Yeah, just something like a high risk.
Like somebody goes through a table or they're jumping off the turnbuckle. I've noticed they'll grab their hand then.
Yeah, but even it's sometimes, like we said, though, it could be the smallest of moves that can do it. But yeah, the high spots they definitely do it on.
Yeah.
And then he said also, Brandon, where there's
the
signals,
high spots are even more risky.
He also, I'm sure we already answered this, but also Brandon, where there's signals on wrestlers.
Yeah, other than like an X to let it know if it was legit or not. I mean, when you're in the ring, you're in constant communication with the referee and your partner, whoever that may be.
It's ironic. I was watching a video the other night where the wrestlers would be like, "Hey, you good? Yeah, all right." You'll say them right there.
Yeah, like you're always in constant communication. So if something does go wrong, like when I split my pants, that was a situation.
And a little different, but yes.
Yeah, but that was a situation that had to get rectified.
The real question is, though, were you wearing clean drawers?
I was, and he still took the balls to his face. It is what it is. It was a leg drop situation. I can't really stop it. It's happening.
That reminds me of that video, the exercise.
Yeah.
He also said, I remember seeing Mae Young squeeze Bubba Ray Dudley's hand after the stage powerbomb to signal she was okay. Yeah, because she was like, what, in her 70s or 80s at that point? Bubba said if she didn't, then that was his cue to get her help. So, yeah, that's I'm glad they worked that out beforehand. I'm sure he was nervous, didn't want to hurt her.
Fuck yeah, she was like in her 80s.
Yeah, exactly. You can break a hip just falling down, let alone jumping off a stage through a table. Mike said, "I hated when they would make the X symbol would be tossed up as a spot instead of for legit injuries. Yeah, to make it look like it's real to the crowd. Yeah, that is I mean, I get you want to kind of kayfabe as much as you can on certain things, but it's like, all right, that might be a little too much. But yeah, I see what you're saying. So yeah, well, that'll do it for that one little segment there. I just thought I'd be remiss if we didn't mention that because it was kind of a scary situation in the world of pro wrestling. But when it comes to more storyline driven stuff here in the world, we got last Friday night on SmackDown. The brand new WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes defeated Drew McIntyre to once again become champion for his third title reign here in WWE. Obviously, this is to set up the Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton WrestleMania match, which is now official. The American Nightmare versus the Viper. My assumption will be this will be the night one main event for certain. But it kind of wasn't well received night of, as it actually got 100,000 dislikes on YouTube. However, there was some reporting going around that there was like maybe some bots or whatever who was paying for some of these dislikes to make it appear worse than it actually was.
I don't know, man.
But I
mean, Cody is not entertaining with the title in hand.
He's more of a chase babyface, chasing the title. I get that.
It's very boring to watch him sit there and go, "Oh, I got a belt."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the mic work between him and Randy will be good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I believe the build between them two. Plus, there's another wrinkle to this as well. Last week, and they continued it this week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn's kind of been up and down lately. Of course, he's not been getting he got an opportunity at the Royal Rumble against Drew McIntyre, didn't get the win there. And of course, a little frustrated after Elimination Chamber 2. He approached Cody Rhodes and said it's unfair that Cody is being handed yet another title opportunity when he already lost the Royal Rumble, he lost the Elimination Chamber, but yeah, he just is given another title opportunity here. And there were many people online thinking the same thing, that even though he lost the Rumble and Elimination Chamber, Randy Orton himself pinned Cody in the Elimination Chamber, which is kind of like, okay, so Randy Orton wins the number one contendership, but yet Cody gets a title match before Orton even, and then Cody wins the title to go up against Orton, which I get. Randy Orton's getting the title match at WrestleMania, so they need the challenger there, and obviously the corporate, powers that be want the match of Orton and Rhodes, obviously, because it makes more sense when it comes to the main event of Mania. I get it. But at the same time, as much as they're even using it as a storyline on television with Sami Zayn and even Drew McIntyre complaining about it too, it does make some sense because Cody Rhodes was screwed out of the Elimination Chamber due to interference from like Seth Rollins getting in the cage. Drew McIntyre himself got in there as well, which is why all this gave the title match to Cody and to kind of spite Drew a little bit too. So I get why they're doing it, and it does make narrative sense to some respects. But of course, a lot of people just kind of feel like, well, they just want to throw these two together. But there is a long-term history here between Cody and Randy. Randy basically brought Cody Rhodes in with his legacy faction, him alongside Ted DiBiase Jr. way back in the day. And of course, 17 years later, now they're going to headline WrestleMania together. So are you guys excited for Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes? Think it's a good move? What do you think about the booking of it? You like where this is going? And I also think this is going to play into Sami Zayn's storyline, potentially leading all the way into next year's Mania in Saudi. Maybe he wins the title there.
They got to be building something because Drew just quit.
Yeah, kayfabe quit, quote unquote.
So it's going to lead, somewhere. How do I feel about it? I mean, I don't know. I could have went either way on it. I still think that Randy's going to win. So, like, I don't. It doesn't really bother me whether it was him or Drew. I still feel like Cody's going to win the title anyway. So.
Oh, you retain? You mean? Yeah. I mean that's
not possible. Cody. I'm sorry, Randy. Randy.
Oh, you think Orton's going to win? Okay, I got you. Yeah. And that could even like Mike's saying, I think fans are ready for heel Cody. Oh, I'm sorry. He said, just my opinion. I think Cody babyface story is played out. He needs to do the heel turn and get a solid heel run. I think fans are ready for heel Cody can do it against Orton and say Cody learned how to backstab from the best, which obviously is Randy. So yeah, I mean that very well could be what's coming. And this whole tension between him and Sami, obviously you're seeing the frustration in Cody. Like, why are you even questioning me about this? Just because I earned it, you didn't kind of situation. So like, I could definitely see that this is possibly where they're going. But then they've been teasing this for so long and they've not pulled the trigger. Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment at WrestleMania. Makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's kind of what I think is going to happen. And maybe, I don't know, if you're going to do that and you want Sammy maybe challenging, maybe Cody versus Sammy is where they're going after Mania. But then again, I think that's going to be a longer term build for Sammy going into next year, probably. But I don't know. It's interesting. And then not only that, you got the Drew McIntyre aspect of this quitting tonight, as you mentioned on SmackDown and storyline, at least. Do you think this goes to Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania? Or obviously with Jacob Fatu not is accusing Drew McIntyre, the one who put him on the shelf, or could this be Drew McIntyre versus Nick Aldis? Is that a possibility?
I don't know, man. It's weird because you have Nick Aldis. Is there a reason why he can't wrestle?
I don't know. He's not wrestled once in WWE, and he was wrestling in NWA all the time. So I don't know.
And do you want to have are you bringing in another GM then? Is he going to be an active member of the Raw? Like, what?
Or is he to be a one-off? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but that's intriguing. But then if it is Drew versus Aldis, then what do you do with Jacob Fatu? You know, I mean, obviously Trick Williams is kind of in the mix there too. You could do a multi-man thing for like one of the mid-card titles. You could always do something like that. But if it's Fatu and Drew, at least that has storyline behind it. So this is all interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know if you can turn that into a three-way or not, but yeah, interesting all the way. And then Mike said, could also lead to Sami Zayn getting the title from Cody at Saudi Mania next year. Possibly, but then do you want another year-long run from Cody Rhodes as the world champion? I don't know if that's fans will go. Now, if he's a heel, sure. It'll be different, and then you could have baby faces chase Cody. You could do that. But I guess time will tell once we get to WrestleMania in about 5 or 6 weeks time, somewhere like that. It's not too far off. So it's building up slowly. I'm going to jump ahead to the main event segment on Monday Night Raw. Then we'll come back to the other part here. But obviously the big main event for WrestleMania is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the main event of Monday Night Raw this week was a promo segment featuring the Usos confronting CM Punk, which I got to admit, there was 2 segments on the show that were really great. This one and the one we're going to talk about afterwards. But obviously, Jay and Jimmy Uso were upset that CM Punk, I should say, told Roman Reigns that he was going to bury him next to Roman's dead father, which obviously, if you follow the bloodline story, means a lot to the family of Roman Reigns. And that, of course, includes the Uso brothers here. And, of course, Jay Uso has been friends with CM Punk in storyline for quite some time. But Jimmy took big exception to this. And so that led to Jay getting all upset about it as well. So much so that the Usos demanded an apology from CM Punk for what he said to Roman Reigns last week. And of course, CM Punk then pointed out, well, he's like, I'm sorry that, Roman didn't apologize to you guys for using you all those years and not, just treating you guys like garbage, which then set the Usos off. Jay shoved CM Punk, and then that's when CM Punk lunged toward Jay, and then Jimmy knocked CM Punk down with a right hand, and that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air. So again, this is all leading to a big, more bloodline storyline where Punk said, I'm sorry Roman Reigns treated the two of you and the rest of his family and the bloodline like garbage for years, and never once came out here publicly to apologize for the way he treated his family that he loves, but the Usos were demanding the apology from Punk. So it's like, okay, this is not bad writing here. Does this potentially lead to the bloodline reforming even at WrestleMania? I don't know.
The whole thing was, they said, the Usos said themselves, it's not about Roman. Like, it has nothing to do with Roman. It's just apologize for what you said. You can feel how you want to feel. That's fine. Just apologize for what you said about Sika. That's it. That's all you got to do. And he just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, like, and to be honest, I'm watching this going, Punk's an a-hole here, but
he's so wrapped up in this rage with Roman that he can't see past it. Like, listen, I'm coming to you man to man. Like, just apologize for that. Feel how you want to feel. Like, we don't care about any of that. Just apologize. And he couldn't do it.
Right.
And you're right. CM Punk looked like an asshole here. But
at the same time, Punk's not wrong either. You said it here on the channel for whatever 1,000 times. Roman's the bad guy. He has been the bad guy for a long time, but fans love him. So yeah, both these guys, it's almost like two a-holes getting in a ring, beating the crap out of each other at WrestleMania.
Yep, that sounds like WWE.
Because they're both right in their own regard. They're both
in their own minds too.
Yeah.
So, but like I said though, if Roman Reigns defeats or CM Punk for the world title and the Usos keep their tag titles, do we have a new reformation of the OG bloodline here moving all through next year? I mean, you could do that. And there's been rumors going around that is WWE's plan. Where they go with it, I don't know. But some people are like they're kind of missing that bloodline storyline to be the main top of the card, you know?
WWE's plan, or is it Dwayne The Rock Johnson's plan?
Well, that's the other thing. If the rumor is next year in Saudi, the main event's supposed to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. So it would make some sense to go ahead and pull that trigger and do a year-long build at some point. So it sounds like they might have a direction. If that's the case, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. So, but yeah, I like this very much. So we'll see how this ends up going. But it'll be interesting to see if the Usos kind of confront Roman Reigns.
Would it build the storyline that CM Punk, but CM's the challenger, right?
No, Punk's the champion.
Punk's the champion. Okay. Yeah. What if Rock did something to cause Roman to not obtain that championship, okay? In that match, and it would build a year-long feud for that to happen. Is that possible?
It's possible, but it probably makes.
I know it's far-fetched, but I'm just saying, is that possible?
It's possible, but it'd be a little. I mean, or Punk could hold it for another 3 months till SummerSlam or something like that. But I think Roman getting the title back, I don't know if somehow maybe they put the title on Rock once before like that. Ironically, taking the belt off Punk to end his long reign, setting up that match with Cena many years back. But so I don't know if they do that, like put the title on Rock for a short time and have Roman chase, or vice versa. It don't even need the title really, to be quite honest with you. So if it's a bloodline thing between Rock and Roman, but there's a lot of people this week who are just like looking at CM Punk saying he crossed that line, saying that about Roman's father Sika. But here's the thing: I remember going to a show in Indianapolis the week that Paul Bearer died, and CM Punk poured the urn on top of Undertaker that weekend.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
So it's not like the first time CM Punk's crossed that line, so this is normal for him. So those of you who don't remember that, you wouldn't have survived those days. This is the way
I
Punk
remember that. Holy
been.
Crap.
And that was the week, literally days after Paul Bearer had passed away. It was a good angle for WrestleMania, but and obviously, family and everything got the approval, much like they did when Punk said this about Roman, I'm sure. But just very intriguing storytelling, no doubt about it. But speaking of intriguing storytelling this week, the biggest story I thought on Monday Night Raw is we now have another leadership change, you should say, from the Judgment Day, as Finn Balor has been ousted. And we've been seeing this coming for many months now. Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor finally exploded as Dominic Mysterio was basically, wondering where Finn was last week during his Intercontinental title match against Penta, where he was cursed by Danhausen, and he loses the title to Penta. And, of course, Finn Balor and JD McDonough were at ringside, but Finn wanted Dominic to do this on his own to kind of grow up, as it were. And, of course, that led to Finn Balor saying something along the lines of Rey Mysterio, your father was right.
I want to see.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So
Penta versus Dominic Mysterio is going to be a good match.
Well, I hope so. Hold on a second.
It was a good match.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and Dominic then shoved Finn Balor. And then once he shoved Finn Balor did that old callback to the NXT turn he did against Adam Cole with the Pele kick. He did that to Dominic Mysterio here as well. And that led to a scuffle that was broken up by JD, who then took out Finn Balor, and they put the boots to Finn here with the ladies joining in as well. So we go all the way back to 2022 when the faction was founded, where they turned on Adam Copeland, Edge, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Rhea. Then Finn Balor and the crew turned on Damian Priest and Rhea, and now the crew has turned on Finn Balor, which again, so this is not the first time the Judgment Day has been through a leadership change. So it makes some sense when it comes to the faction history as well. Led to Damian Priest getting on social media saying it sucks, doesn't it? Because Finn turned on him. So again, kind of some nice inner lock into the story, I guess you could say, when it comes to the social media stuff out there too. But so thoughts on the Judgment Day change in leadership? It looks like Finn Balor, he was using his old theme music this week again as well. So it sounds like Finn versus Dominic. However, this week on a podcast, Dominic Mysterio issued a challenge to Penta for a rematch for his Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, mask versus mustache. Dominic said he'd put his mustache on the line if Penta accepts his challenge, and it'll be a mask as well. Now, like I told our buddy Mike in, I believe, a text, I was like, or in a chat, I was like, if they do this, I don't know if I like it because they've been clearly setting up Dom versus Finn. So maybe Finn costs him, but if it's at WrestleMania, I don't know how they're going to do it. But maybe Dominic issues a challenge, Penta doesn't accept, or maybe Adam Pearce says you can't do that, and you're facing Finn. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I want to see Finn versus Dom at some point. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think they'll do there's no way, because first of all, is Dom going to shave his mustache? Unless there's a reason, like he's got a movie role or something that's coming up and he's got to shave. I don't see him, and there's no way you're taking that mask off of Penta. That's not happening.
It almost sounds like lose there. It would be Dom losing the mustache, but
so
that would look
my
weird.
guess is maybe they'll do something in Mexico together, but I don't think. I think your money ticket's going to be on Finn and him at Mania.
To respond to what you were saying, Finn Balor will bury Dom next to his dead father.
That's crazy.
Did you see that meme I posted of about Benoit? I guess Benoit was the last person in the ring, or the last person who was in the ring with Benoit before the whole tragedy with Benoit happened was CM Punk. So the meme said that the meme said Roman Reigns should come out on Monday Night Raw, fire back and says, "I'm going to bury you next to Benoit, so they'll erase your entire history."
Oh, like Jesus!
Could you imagine? That'd be a one way to go. I don't think they'd ever do that. They'll never say his name again. But could you imagine? Yeah, talk about raising the stakes. But yeah. So I don't know. WrestleMania's heating up, and I didn't even talk about the thing on Monday Night Raw this week about where Seth Rollins was with the Hooded Men again, and they were basically playing that. You ever seen that like a solo cup where you had a ball underneath the cups and you kind of mix them around? Yeah. They were doing that with Hooded Men with Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, which was kind of interesting. So you could kind of lose track where he was. Again, just to kind of keep him from being attacked by the Vision and stuff. So he's kind of playing mind games. But again, if he's not cleared yet, it makes sense too not to get him injured. But yeah, there was some interesting stuff on Raw this week. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a good week of WWE, no doubt about that. So looking forward to WrestleMania. Like I said, a few weeks away. They're not too far off. But before we get to that, obviously there is a pay-per-view this weekend, though, on the other side of the wrestling coin. AEW Revolution is this Sunday, March 15th, on HBO Max, 7 Eastern for the 0 hour. And of course, the main show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we got 12 matches on the card, 2 for 0 hour, the pre-show, 10 on the main pay-per-view here. Obviously, that's headlined by MJF defending his AEW World Championship against Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match. If Hangman Adam Page loses, he can never challenge for the AEW World Championship again for as long as he lives. Obviously, it's also got Jon Moxley defending his Continental Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. Bandito versus Andrade El Idolo. FTR defending their World Tag titles against the Young Bucks. Swerve Strickland against Brody King. The Don Callis family, Proto Kata, along with Mark Davis against Jet Speed and Mystico for the Trios Championships. Tekla versus Chris Statlander for the Women's World title. Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir with everybody banned from ringside. Trios match with Roderick Strong. What are you laughing at?
That's just the dumbest stakes ever. They're going to wrestle, but nobody can be on the ringside.
Well, their teams
no
have kind of
interference.
gotten. Yeah, no interference is basically what it means. So Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin against the Dogs. We also got the Babes of Wrath defending their women's tag titles against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. As well on the pre-show, we got Willow Nightingale defending the TNT title against Lena Cross. So Nightingale and Cross are doing double duty on this night. And of course, you got Ricochet defending his national championship in a 21-man blackjack battle royal. So big. Obviously, AEW always delivers the matches. Obviously, the one I think's got the most intrigue is the world title match, but there's some other undercard storylines there. What are you looking forward to? Anything you might be want to check out? Who do you think's going to win? What jumps out to you? Anything?
Why is that stipulation, and what's the point of it?
For the Texas Death Match?
Yeah.
Well, Hangman obviously wanted to get the title match, but and of course MJF's obviously going to refuse. Hangman obviously then said, "Fine, I'll never challenge again if I lose." So he's so confident, and somehow it came into it like they were going to choose the stipulation. It was like a coin toss to see who was going to choose the stipulation. MJF had a double-headed coin, so he was going to win. He got busted, so Hangman decided to choose it, and obviously his specialty is Texas Death Match. So that's kind of how that fell into place. And of course, MJF is didn't want to do that, but he's got no choice now. So it's going to be a bloody affair. I have no doubt about that. They use Texas death matches usually are. So I don't know if they're going to go the Cody Rhodes route with Adam Page or not. But so I don't know. Would you do that?
No, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna beat MJF, like. So unless they're doing the Cody Rhodes thing, which is stupid anyway, like that should have never been part. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a way around that where you could have got here without that stipulation.
Yeah, it kind of puts them in a bit of a pickle. I'll say that. I mean, yeah, you could have Page win, which I think is probably going to be the case if you're going to avoid that whole. I don't know. I mean, it just depends on who you got lined up as the number one contender moving forward. And again, we've got rumors of Ospreay coming back at some point. Maybe he shows up on this show. Obviously, that's probably going to be more for like a Kenny Omega maybe match later down the line. But even Kenny's been off TV, but now he wasn't able to make the Revolution taping, I think, due to prior engagements. So that's why he was kind of written off recently. But I mean, you got Swerve and Brody King right there as well. Maybe they're kind of next in line. Maybe Swerve goes after Hangman again. That's the only problem was like, I don't want to see things we've seen a bunch of times already. That's my biggest thing right now. So, I mean, they're bringing in some new guys. They're trying to build some guys up. And obviously, you got Andrade and Bandito. Andrade's there. Maybe Andrade versus Hangman. That could make some sense for a short-term run there. But, yeah, I'm just kind of curious how this all plays out in the long run. I like the fact that they signed David Finlay with the Dogs against Darby and Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. Still kind of hope maybe we'll get Kyle O'Reilly back at some point, too. It's another guy I'm kind of missing. I do believe they announced that Juice Robinson's coming back on Collision this Saturday. So that'll be good to see him come back from injury. Hopefully the Gun Club or the Bang Bang Gang can stay healthy for a while. Still got to get freaking Switchblade, Jay White back, but hopefully that's sooner rather than later, too. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
the matches will be great.
Thing that's the matches will be fine.
It's just what they do with the story stuff.
Yeah, like where are we going? And this whole thing with the trios title, we got to figure it out.
I mean, obviously, I think the Don Callis family retains there. It just makes most sense right now. They're doing some stuff with like Kevin Knight too, kind of like borderline, possibly maybe going heel on his own away from Mike Bailey too. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, so I don't know. It's got the potential. And again, with the FTR stuff, I kind of wonder when Copeland and Christian may be coming back as well with that. Obviously, you wouldn't think Copeland and Christian would let go of the fact that FTR, pile drive Beth Phoenix not too long back too, which set them both off away from the company for a while to kind of recuperate, I suppose. And they were talking about an Edge retirement tour in AEW leading up to the end of this year too. So again, we'll see how it all plays out. I can see some surprise appearances here. Like I said, wrestling will be great, but let's just see what they do storyline wise, and hopefully it'll be a good show. And I think they said, who was it they put in the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal? But that'll be interesting to see how that plays out too. Obviously, I imagine Ricochet will be the ace or whatnot, and he'll be the guy to come in last, I assume, since his title's on the line and all that multi-man match. So, but yeah, you can see a title change in some of these for sure. And the landscape could change as we head into the summer months where they're leading into their big show, their WrestleMania at the, I believe it's August, I think, for All In, which will be coming back in London. So that'll be a good one too. Let's see here. Mike said, I think that Dominic Mysterio might be doing both nights. Something was said about his AAA title being on the line night one. Okay, so you could do Dom and Penta and then Dom and Finn. Okay, I could see that. Think that's a possibility? 2 nights?
Wait.
Yeah.
Well, where would his title be on the, if he's wrestling 2 nights, he's doing one of them for AAA?
I guess.
Or is he having a AAA match at WrestleMania?
That's what he made it sound like, if that's the rumor.
Oh,
sure.
So
which could be cool. I mean, they own it, so why not?
Yeah, I guess he could. Or Penta could say to him. Penta could say to him, unless it's Vikingo, Penta could say, "Put your AAA title on the line," and he'll put his mask on the line, but not his mustache, because he's not. I'm not gonna put my. Yeah.
Huh, can you imagine if it was title for title? Dom loses his AAA Mega Championship as well as his mustache, and then Finn beats him as well as the Demon the following night. Boy, Dom would be upset. I tell you what. Now Liv may come out of WrestleMania with the title. I don't know if Dominic is, if that's the case. Mike said, "My apologies, as it's been a while since I've watched AEW. Where are Cope and Christian?" As I mentioned, after FTR Spike Pyle drove Beth Phoenix through the mat in the ring. Edge said he needed to take some time off, obviously, to tend to his wife. And Christian just never returned after that. So I don't know. They both just decided to take some time off for a while there. Obviously, getting a little older in age and whatnot. I'm not sure. But as far as I know, they're not hurt. It's just more about storyline timing and stuff when they want to come back against FTR, I imagine.
Mhm.
We'll have to see if that ends up being the case. But, FTR has kind of been running roughshod in their absence in some respects. Now with Tommaso Ciampa also kind of teaming up with him. I fully believe Johnny Gargano is now going over to AEW with the way he got destroyed by Obafemi this week or last week on SmackDown and the way they kind of have him planking, not caring. I just got this feeling he's being buried on the way out, which is sad because Triple H really used him a lot in NXT as one of his top guys. So I hope that's not what they're doing, but it kind of feels like that. Mike also said, random question about old school TNA. Brandon, what did you think of their reverse battle royals? I don't know if I remember.
They were weird.
Like everybody started in the ring at once and people left?
No, they started outside of the ring. You had to get in the ring.
Yeah. Instead of getting
eliminated.
Yeah. Weird. I'll have to see if I can find one of those. I don't think I've ever watched one. He said, I believe it was first 8 to get in, then they had a regular battle royal to set up their seating for a tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you had to get a pin in order to get in the ring. It was weird. It was fucking weird.
That is very weird. I'll tell you right there. That's not something you would normally do for sure. But hey, they're trying to be innovative. They're trying something new. You got to give them credit for that. I mean, that's kind of what I feel like with AEW with their casino battle royal. It's like a Royal Rumble, but like it's sudden death. It's a pinfall situation, or it's like a gauntlet. It's a casino gauntlet. I'm sorry, but so like it could have 20 men, but like only 10 could get in the ring due to the fact that it's sudden death. So I would like to see all the members at least get in the ring so some of those guys don't get shafted, but no one really does because you just don't know who's in it. It's usually nobody in the back. But anyway, storyline, it kind of makes you go, who was also in there? But anyway, Mike also said, no, you had to get a pin in their reverse ladder matches.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That sounds like an even weirder concept.
It's even worse. It's even worse. The only cool thing...
Wait, what?
Hey, maybe it's a ladder match you like.
Luckily, my camera's off because my face could not have been good. Reverse ladder match? What the fuck? You got to climb down slow?
You have to hang. You have to hang the thing on the ladder. So you have to.
That's
put,
weird.
Like the title or whatever the hell it is
on the hook.
On the ladder. Yeah, on the hook.
So they're still gonna climb it slow.
Yeah.
So it's probably still
They also used to do the best thing they had was the Ultimate X matches were good. And the Feast or Famine matches were good.
Yeah. He said the ladder matches you had to get a pin so you could be eligible to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Hang the belt, which is even.
It was stupid. Well, okay? It was stupid.
Like, I get it. They're trying their new stuff, but a lot of times new ideas are not always good.
Because they were so convoluted. It was weird. It was so weird.
That is very strange.
But their Feast or Famine matches were good. I think that's something like, because it was used in a lot of storylines where like you could win. There was like three contracts, right? And you would grab one of them and somebody else could grab the other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you opened them, one was a title shot, or two were title shots, like for whatever title or whatever, and then the other one was a pink slip essentially, which means you got 5.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 others too. Yeah,
they were good.
And it always worked out well because somebody's contract was expiring.
Yeah, but it also was used as storyline. I mean, that's how Eric Young, one of his best storylines was that during a Feast or Famine match. Curryman, when he got fired, which was Christopher Daniels playing, under a mask. Hilarious.
He said Alex Skipper doing
the cage Skipper.
Elix. Okay, I remember the movie you're talking about. I didn't know his name.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah.
Because you could tell he was like he's taking his sweet time, making sure he got his footing and stuff. Because if you didn't, but
he had to scoot across though. He was scooting across that thing.
He was falling backwards as he did it. So
that was a cool spot though.
Looked very good. So yeah, like I said, they had some great stuff into it, and still do to some respect. Sometimes it just depends on the show for sure. All righty, well, let's move into the world of movies. They got a whole lot in the world of movies tonight, so it might not take us as long as normal. So, but we do have a trailer to check out. So let's get into that segment. All right, so we go now. Next week we might have a couple more movie trailers. We'll talk about that here when we get to the rapid fire in just a minute. But we do have one movie trailer this week, and it was a movie that we kind of were intrigued by when we saw the first teaser trailer for it. Well, now we have the first full trailer for it for Steven Spielberg's upcoming Disclosure Day. And bless you, bless you.
God damn.
You good? It's all them aliens. They're coming to take her sinuses.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got the alien movie, sci-fi movie from the legendary director Steven Spielberg, obviously from Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all the like, and Indiana Jones and all that sort of good stuff. So let's check out this full-length trailer, and we'll let you guys know what we think about it. Here we go.
What did you steal?
Secrets. The data they paid me to protect.
Is that Rachel Weisz?
People.
No, I don't know. Oh boy.
No.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is today's.
Today, Junior. That is still creepy. That sound.
Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear it's gibberish. I can't understand it.
And I can.
Alien.
What's happening to me?
People are starved for the truth. I'm a part of it now. I'm just sorry they made you a part of it too.
Hello, Jane. Please. Have a seat.
Okay.
This 79-year terror campaign of lies has to end.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world. If you do this, there's no undoing it.
I ain't gonna lie.
Why would they do this?
When the time is right, everything will become clear.
Whatever happens,
Don't you let go.
That looked like Independence Day. I ain't gonna lie, that looks right out of something that Miranda would thoroughly enjoy. Something right out of her playbook. Conspiracy type, alien.
Crazy.
I don't know. I don't really like sci-fi movies.
No? Well,
No.
no.
That looks good though.
I
That looks more like government cover-up type things though. Like,
Well, it probably is. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to watch the movie. If you're really doing it, just fucking tell me.
right. Fair enough. Well, then again, kind of predictive, or what is it? Is it predictive programming? Maybe they're just trying to get you ready. Like, hey, we're going to let it. Trump said he's going to release all the alien stuff. Yeah,
that clicking shit is creepy.
yeah, it almost
Yeah, I
sounds
don't
like
like
you're
that
clicking
either.
a bottle of water or something.
Mhm.
Kinda. Yeah,
That
that is.
clicking shit is creepy.
And I still want to know what what's
The animals and all that, like
the deer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like moose type. Oh, that wasn't. I don't know. It was a moose, but
I mean,
like an elk or a stag or something.
I definitely want to watch it.
yeah,
but
stag.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
You'll probably be like, see, this is what's happening now. And you're not telling us. I know.
Well, I'm scrolling X right now, and if
Uh-huh.
it's true, BB may not be with us anymore.
No kidding.
Mhm.
How would that happen? Well, obviously
There was an attack.
really that's breaking news if that's the case.
I
let's-
haven't seen anything official, but
okay.
like it's
Keep-
all over,
okay.
non-official.
Keep us informed then if you see anything else. But
I'll send this the most official looking one.
Well, I just saw the rumor as well. So yeah, it's definitely around out there. So interesting. Well, that's it. Potentially, there's rumors going around X right now that the leader of Israel has been killed. I don't know how true that is, but like I said, it's just kind of breaking. If that's good, I am seeing it out there a little bit. Well, that comes off the heels that the latest supreme leader of Iran had been taken out as well. So like, well, how many of the leaders does that make now? Then I don't know, but so yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that once we get closer to the news and politics stuff. We'll check on it again and see if we can get more confirmation on that. But yeah, it's definitely intriguing for sure. But yeah, I guess but the movie itself, I think it'll be a good one. I'm sure it'll come out mid-June, so that should be a lot of fun as well. All right, so we'll keep it moving right along here as we keep an eye on that to see how that ends up going, and we'll move into the rapid fire stuff here. Just like I said, a few little things I wanted to touch on. Nothing major this week, but obviously this week marked the debut of. Well, I think it was last week actually of Ted season 2. And I'm about 5 episodes into the 8 episode season, and it's actually pretty hilarious. I ain't gonna lie, especially that D&D episode. You guys would love that. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was pretty darn right hilarious. So much so I was rolling on the floor for sure. But
what is it on?
Peacock. Yeah. Peacock.
Okay.
So that and I believe the first season and maybe the movies as well. But not only that,
turn it on tonight or something. Start with the first episode.
With the release of the sequel season there, the second season though too, it's now also been announced that Ted will be getting an animated sequel series that'll be so it goes like this. The series itself, the 2 television seasons are prequels when they were younger in high school, and of course Mark Wahlberg was in the original 2 films, and that takes place in their adult life. Now the animated show coming out will be the sequel series to the movie, so it'll be the last in the timeline, as it were. Seth MacFarlane, Mark Wahlberg, Amanda Seyfried, and Jessica Barth are all going to be returning to reprise their roles via their voice acting here, so that'll be cool to see Mark Wahlberg come back to it, even though it is in animated form. I don't know why they wouldn't just make a 3rd movie, but I guess maybe they just thought they'd try an animated series, since obviously that's what Seth MacFarlane kind of thrives at with the Family Guy series and stuff. So makes a lot of sense. So I'm looking forward to seeing that too, and I think that's supposed to even release later this year, probably on Peacock as well. So a lot of Ted coming your way if you're a fan of the big huggable teddy bear. Crude but huggable. Speaking of Seth MacFarlane as well, we also got the announcement that Family Guy is getting a spin-off show entitled Stewie, which will follow the young baby from the Family Guy series, and it is getting a 2-season order on Fox, and it will be debuting in the 2027.
I don't much care for that.
Well, do you watch Family Guy much at all, though?
I do, and I don't care for that.
Really? I heard he got some solo-centric episodes that probably, spurn the idea. So that makes sense. I mean, if people will watch that, I guarantee it. Because Stewie himself can carry a whole show just by himself, especially with this teddy bear as well, which is kind of ironic because he's got a bear, and so did Mark Wahlberg. It's kind of like, I don't know. I just happened to notice that. So yeah,
boys and their bears, huh?
Exactly, boys and their toys for sure. Got a couple of chats here for Mike before we move on. He said, if you want to watch a movie that'll make you go, "What the hell? This couldn't have really happened." Watch a movie called Compliance. It's about a series of prank calls that happened to several restaurants. It's about the most infamous one that happened, I believe, a McDonald's. It was just so head shaky to know it was a true story. I had heard about it, but I don't think I ever have seen it. So it sounds a little creepy, depending on what these prank calls, especially if it's a true story. But yeah. And yeah, Mike, I didn't mention it, but yeah, I just saw that a Baywatch is getting a TV reboot as well.
Oh no,
the movie with The Rock did very well. It's it's kind of one of those things that I feel like some things you just need to let lie. I mean, we've talked about that here on the channel before too. It's part of the reason why I didn't mention it. And that we can't cover everything, unfortunately, on the channel every week. Otherwise, we'd be here all night long. So I picked the biggest stuff for sure. One big news headline that kind of broke this week: Arnold Schwarzenegger says that he's talked to Dan Trachtenberg about returning in his next Predator film, which obviously he just released Predator Badlands, which many people tended to like, and the Prey film he also did as well was another big success here. And there was an animated Prey series or movies that came out, which teased the return of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch from the first Predator film. But I just kind of figured he'd come back in animated form. but maybe this is going to be more live action. I don't know, because Schwarzenegger's also talked about doing sequels to Conan, which would make King Conan. It'll be his third outing in that, and Commando, which is one of his old movies from, I believe, the late 80s.
Lord Jesus.
So I guess they're going to kidnap his grandchildren at this point. I don't know. Or
Apparently.
great-grandkids. I don't know. So are you excited about maybe seeing Schwarzenegger get back in the movie stuff, or maybe you think maybe it's time for him to retire as well? I don't know.
I don't know. If you can still do it, you can still do it. I mean, maybe animated's the way to go. I don't see him doing many stunts. So
Probably not. No. And I definitely don't necessarily need to see him any more Terminators. I really don't. As much as I didn't mind him. But I think that series is, unless you really have a fresh idea, just let it lie. I mean, you've tried so many times and not that worked. The original few films were good, but after that, I'm not so certain. But more Schwarzenegger potentially coming down the line here. We also got an announcement from producer Rod Roddenberry, who is the son of the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry. He thinks that the franchise will, quote, get better under Paramount's new ownership after the Ellisons took over, or was looking to take over owning the Warner Brothers BD. And of course, recently Star Trek came out with a new series, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, and it was woke as all hell. So much so it's considered the worst Star Trek series ever made. And Star Trek has always been kind of on the progressive side of things to some respects, but even they went over a line here. Now, Paramount itself is under new leadership to some respects. So we'll see how right now Star Trek is kind of got the red light. They're not creating any more material at the moment outside of their already greenlit shows like Strange New Worlds has got a couple more seasons left. So hopefully they can get things squared away there, but it sounds like maybe the new leadership there might get things better. I'm hoping Paramount and Warner Brothers and everybody gets better after the Ellisons take over. So that's just my hope for sure. We also got the official announcement from Netflix that K-pop Demon Hunters will be getting a sequel, which we kind of expected anyway. So those of you who like that film, the original writer and director will be returning as well. However, bad news is it's probably going to be about 2030 before you see the sequel. I don't know why it would take so long. This film released like last year or the year before. So it's like, I don't know why, but it's going to take them a long time. Kind of like the Spider-Verse films, if you ask me. I don't know what the whole
probably that's
is, but
the reason, though, the animation and the cost and all that.
Yeah, it probably is, no doubt. Get everything the way they want it. So, hey, if it's good, I'm sure fans are willing to wait. I mean, it's not my wheelhouse, but hey,
I do not understand why it's taking so long to get another Spider-Verse movie.
Well, it's supposed to come out next year, so hopefully it'll be done by then. So hopefully it'll actually stay on track for that. We did get the announcement last week. We talked about here on the channel the Green Lanterns, or the Lanterns trailer we discussed in length. It has now been officially announced that Aaron Pierre, who plays Jon Stewart in that television series, has now officially joined the cast of the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, that'll be debuting next year, and it's about to shoot, I believe, in the next few weeks, leading into the summer. So we now know the Jon Stewart will be joining the Superman sequel with Supergirl, and probably slowly inching closer to maybe getting a full-blown Justice League on screen. So, Brandon, they got a good addition to the Superman series coming up next year.
And that'll be coming out before their actual TV show?
No, the TV show comes out this August. So we'll get to see him probably, fully get the ring by the end of that series. Then he'll show up in Man of Tomorrow. This does sound like maybe a bad omen for Hal Jordan, though. Did not say anything about him being in the Superman sequel. So does that mean Hal dies, or
he wasn't part of the team?
Guess not. Whether he just retires or dies, I don't know, but it's not looking good. Now that could just mean maybe they don't have Kyle Chandler locked down yet, or they just the story doesn't require it. I don't know, but speculating minds are going to do that, and I kind of wonder if Hal Jordan's going to bite in that first season. But this is probably a show supposed to be centered around Jon Stewart, so it would make some sense, I guess, but be kind of a bummer, though, because Hal Jordan's a lot of people's favorite Green Lantern, that's for sure. And like I said, not a whole lot to talk about this week, but next week sounds like we're going to have a lot to talk about, because we got 2 movie trailers that are probably going to be dropping next week, since there's a new film called Project Hail Mary coming out next week from Sony Pictures.
And I believe sounds like it's going to save their company.
Well,
it's not enough shit already.
I've actually heard some hype for it. Now, we've not really talked a whole lot about Project Hail Mary, because I just don't know if it's something I'd be interested in personally. But since it's coming out, though, it's now been it's rumored still, but it's all but confirmed that we're going to get the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer next week, as well as the first trailer for Dune Part 3 will be coming out next week as well. So if that's the case, we'll be covering them live here next week on the show. So that's the plan. Yeah, so it sounds like we're going to finally get our first glimpse at Tom Holland's next Spider-Man outing, from the sounds of things. So looking forward to that, because obviously I'm kind of just interested to see where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going. and maybe we'll see Tom Holland with the symbiote suit. A lot of rumors about that going around as well, and all that sort of good stuff. See what he's been up to since No Way Home, which was, in my opinion, probably one of the best Spider-Man movies ever made. So, got any thoughts on that before we get to the trailer? What are your thoughts? Maybe what's going to happen in Spider-Man: Brand New Day? Anything in particular?
Symbiote suit. That is very interesting.
It's a rumor right now. We don't know, but yeah,
I don't know, man. It could, because it's essentially we're restarting the universe again. So
kind of, or at least his world a little bit. Yeah.
I
mean, we know Punisher. We know the Hulk is in it. We know Scorpion is one of the villains in it. Obviously, MJ and Ned are both in it as well. Maybe we'll get Ned as the Hobgoblin. MJ and Ned obviously don't remember who Peter Parker is at the moment. Obviously, it's been, and they did say in the synopsis that it'll be set 4 years after No Way Home. So it's been 4 years since their memory was wiped. So it'll be interesting to see how Peter Parker is doing with his new digs, as it were. You know,
I wouldn't imagine he's handling it very well.
Probably not. One of the things about Spider-Man that makes him relatable, though, is the struggles that he goes through, and that's kind of why fans love him, because they can relate to him a lot. So, so we'll see how it ends up going, and maybe he'll be in college at that point, and we'll get a first look next week.
No,
So,
Aunt May. Well, would there be an Aunt May in this one?
No, she died in the last one.
I know, but this is a different.
No, it's the same.
Well,
it's a continuation. Yeah, it's not an alternate.
Nobody
universe.
remembers who he is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so but he has to deal with the guilt and all that stuff and everything. So could be fun. Not for him, but maybe for us. So we'll see how it goes. But that makes sense, though. Yeah,
I've heard this stirring. Okay, while we're talking about Marvel. Okay, I know we're time sensitive here. I've heard a stirring that we will not see Dr. Doom's face until the very end of the next film.
That is a rumor, and I haven't included it just because I don't know how much I buy it. But the rumor is going around that Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., will not be showing his face until potentially the end of Avengers Doomsday, and obviously it'll be a big plot point in Secret Wars, the sequel. But to me, it's like you get Robert Downey Jr. for a reason. Otherwise, why get him at all? Because if he's not going to show his face, it's not obviously it's going to be a big connection. Maybe they're just kind of stalling it. And if the rumor's true that they may split Secret Wars into 2 parts, maybe that's why. Maybe it makes more of a slow burn. But yeah, he's going to show his face at some point, because you don't get Robert Downey Jr. to not. Because if you're not going to show his face, you just cast somebody else. You know,
that's kind of what I thought too, and I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that.
That may be true, and maybe it is the last thing, maybe like the last shot of the film. Booyah! Here I am, ha ha! You know, that's the cliffhanger. I don't know, but if so, it can still be done well. I mean, I got no problem with it. I don't want to show his face. I mean, but it would just be interesting that you pay him all that money to be a voice actor, basically. You know, because he's probably not going to.
Or this version, he kills Thor and reveals his face simultaneously.
Maybe,
and then people will be like, "Oh, yeah."
You're definitely sticking to that Thor dying prediction, ain't you?
Oh, he's gonna die. he's dying in this movie. I am mentally prepared for that to happen.
It won't matter. But you're like Brandon. You're like Brandon when it comes to Iron Man. He dead.
He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. There's not gonna be no Infinity Stones that's gonna bring him back this time.
He gonna go back to Valhalla.
He dead, bro.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that'll do it for our movie news here. But Mike had a couple chats. He said, Star Trek can only get better if Darth Vader returns, chokes out everyone except the red shirts, whom he then hires as stormtroopers. And the stormtroopers would still probably be able to kill him. Just say it. Might like that one. For sure. What, Matt? Oh, actually, he's breaking up a little bit, but yeah.
That was good.
You said that.
Oh, I can. I fully believe he can. But yeah. He said his girls were into K-pop. Now it's Teen Titans Go. Thought I got away from that when Carter got older. Now suffering through it again. I'm sorry. The original Teen Titans was better.
Teen Titans Go so. Oh my lord.
Well, I mean, for someone their age, I get why they're into it. But yeah, I'm sorry. You got to go through that again. And I believe they're still making new episodes even now, which is crazy. It's still on the air. But so it's got to have an audience somewhere.
Oh,
yeah. I hope to God
whenever it does.
I hope to God when James Gunn remakes the Teen Titans in a film or whatnot, I hope they make it good. I thought the HBO Max series was, from what I saw of it, wasn't terrible. Definitely on the darker side. Batman, but but I don't know. I didn't finish it though. So Time will tell. We'll see how it goes with the DC stuff for sure.
I am gonna have to watch that Ted though. I'm gonna have to turn that on.
I recommend watching the first season first, and definitely the movies. If you've not seen those, I mean, that pretty much sets the tone. I would definitely do the movies first if I were you, for sure. All right, guys. Well, we got a little bit of a sports talk, and then we'll end the show with our Rumble exclusive. Let's get into the sports. We got a lot of, and Matt's got some opinions. So wait till we get the particular team you want to talk about. We're going to save the best two teams for last. But anyway, here we go.
Well, let's start talking about Ohio State. Because the best two teams were last. And damn sure it's Ohio State.
You know what? Don't throw that shade too much. All right, we won.
Oh, I'm gonna throw it.
You gonna take that, or do you want?
I have sat in the loser square for too long.
I just love how Miranda came back. Shut up, man.
Let me tell you something. Eric, Mike already knows this because I've already been talking to Mike about this. I am buying a boombox, okay, for fantasy football this year, and I am coming in with the theme song of Kurt Angle, and I am just pointing to everybody and just going, "You suck, you suck, and you suck."
You realize you'll be doing that literally because you were last place last year.
I know. I'm so heartedly know. I don't. But I'm just trying to reverse all the juju of being
Matt, I hate to be the one that has to tell you this, but you suck at being a troll.
Oh yeah.
He tries so hard though. I love the
told nobody.
But it kind of doesn't make sense.
You know,
sometimes.
It's not.
It makes perfect sense.
You know, the year you won, you should have did that. You should have came in that following draft, the one that you won, doing exactly what you're talking about now. If you do that now with your situation in fantasy football, all of us are going to look at you and you lost. You suck.
But this is part of me embracing.
Are you trying to reverse psychology on us?
Oh yeah. Because I'm fully under the impression that there are other powers that hate me in fantasy football. I have drafted Le'Veon Bell #1 overall. He sits out the whole season.
Oh my God! I remember that.
All of my star players never turned out good for me either. So.
Halfway decent team don't make the playoffs. Next season, I finished last. The following season, next to last, barely beat Rocky out for that spot. The next season, I finished last and paid for everybody. So I am convinced that either I really stuck at drafting, which it might very well be, and I need to study up on drafting a little more.
You drop guys too much that you shouldn't be dropping too.
And Eric's right. Eric's right. Yeah. I don't hold on to guys like I should. And Eric has talked to me about this multiple times. But
try to help.
Yeah, I know. I know you're just trying to help me.
The trade window opens up after the draft.
I trade somebody.
Start dropping people.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You he would give your team a chance to win.
Yeah, he'll drop people before we even play a game for sure. Yeah. But you've got a little bit about it.
I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that. And Mike told me go for it.
No, don't listen to Mike. Don't do it.
Hey, you can do it, but I mean, Chris may tell you may throw your boombox out the house when you come over to his music. Just put it out there. But anyway,
Chris would be like, you lost though. Chris would say the same thing I said, but you lost. How do we suck when you lost?
My suck. Me. That's right. That's my thinking. Philosophy.
Well, don't worry, Mike. We'll come back to your other chats here in just a second. But I want to jump to this one since it's relevant to fantasy. He said, "I think those powers that hate Eric and Brandon because they had to suffer as your only 2 wins this year, Matt. Yeah, he beat me and Brandon, but everybody else he got beat by. Like, what the hell?
I didn't get a win. I'm not letting him play no more,
brother." I thought last year was my fucking year. Okay,
it was my year though. I won the title, so I don't mind if I lost a
This
match.
ain't about you, Eric. Shut the
It
fuck up. All
It's
right?
all about me. I mean, shoot, it's the whole point.
Probably should have won the title though, because he had to share the title with Rocky that one year because of the
Yeah,
family. Yeah, I kind of understand the juju between that, but
me and Rocky had to play one
Yeah.
again. I
it
don't
really
know.
wasn't both of your guys' fault. But anyways, back to your sports.
Sure.
What we're doing in a second.
Seriously, Mike had a question for Matt though. He said, "When does baseball season officially start?"
Okay, we are 9 days away.
Oh, I didn't know it was close.
What happens is this time period, the World Baseball Classic is going on. Okay, at this point, pitchers they're starting to wind up the pitchers a little, pitch counts a little more. So what's going to happen is, for instance, like the other night, Justin Verlander, who pitches for the Tigers, he pitched 7 innings, which was 72 pitches. And when he got done, he tipped his hat to the crowd, and the crowd kind of gave him a big ovation because they knew that was the last time you're going to see him before it starts. Because pitchers usually do 10 days rest before regular season starts. Now, what's going to start happening in the next couple days is you're going to stop seeing the AAA and AA players, and you're going to start seeing more of your major league players start
So it's
their
kind of like-
training, start their ramping up, and within the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, they start playing till that 7th and 8th inning, and then when it first starts, they're playing all 9. So they'll all be ready to go. Giancarlo Stanton got out the other day, took 2 pitches, hit a home run probably about 500 feet for the Pirates. And then the very next at bat, they put in Cabanero, and they were like, yeah, you're not going to see Stanton for a second time. Yeah, they were like, we're not going to show you what we really have before the season starts.
Well, Mike followed up. He said, "Next week, Matt, I expect a season preview. Your thoughts as who you feel will compete for the title, who may surprise. It's your time to shine, little buddy. So get to work."
I'm gonna try. I've already done some studying, so.
Well, I don't mean right now, but he took off like he was about to get this big old.
I got
encyclopedia
notes
box.
already.
Yeah, he probably will too. He'll come back, boom, big old tape, like a big old book about that thing. Yeah. He also said, Mike said, my rule right now, so speaking about Ohio State a while ago, is we IU fans are allowed to celebrate winning the title until September. Then the defense begins, and if we don't succeed, I'll still be happy. I live to see them win just one. That's a good way, I think, looking at it, really. I mean, to be quite honest, after, start of next year, it's a whole new slate. Same way with like Super Bowl champs, Seattle. At that point, it's all about what you do now. It doesn't matter what you did last year. So I think it's a good way of looking at it, though. So I know we will our teams to do something, but the way our culture looking, which we'll get into in just a minute.
And then talk about it, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Matt seems pretty positive, so I'm interested to see what he has to say.
Matt's weird.
I understand. I can't wait to hear this explanation. But anyway, while he's doing whatever he's doing here, let's get into some of this here with the NFL. Obviously, last week on the show, we had part 1 of the free agency frenzy before the league year started this last Wednesday at 4. But the big trade last week was Max Crosby was going from the Las Vegas Raiders to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round picks. Well, hold everything. That did not, in fact, happen, as out of nowhere, the Baltimore Ravens have backed out of their trade agreement for Max Crosby, and the Raiders did not appear too happy as they put out this statement saying they will have no further comment at this time, because obviously that means they lost 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby, who I believe is coming off, I believe it's a meniscus, if I'm not remembering wrong. But that's the thing. The Baltimore Ravens knew about this injury that Max Crosby had. Everybody knew, and it still was other teams wanted Max Crosby. Well, then they back out of this claiming he failed his physical, and literally the day after that, the Baltimore Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson, another player from that exact same position, to a 4-year, $112 million deal. So this got the entire world of the NFL all PO'd and ticked off, especially other teams who wanted to get Max Crosby, who were trying to get Trey Hendrickson, and everybody after that. Like, once those guys were gone, it affected every other move that they wanted to make in free agency. So it had this big domino effect. So it's got a lot of people upset that maybe the Ravens were playing a little dirty here, as it were. Now, on the flip side of that, the Ravens, as it was before the actual league year began and none of these deals were signed, the Ravens do have the right to back out of any trade deal like any other team does if they don't feel. Now, I don't know if that means they have to cite a positions like failing of the physical or not, I don't think they did, though. And I think they don't have to give a reason whatsoever. And they could just back out at any given time before it's signed. But it's shady.
They got Trey Henderson for a big deal. They got Trey Henderson for a better deal.
Cheaper.
I think that's what it is.
And you get your first round picks back.
They got him. Yep, that's why they backed out. This excuse of the medical report is what it was, and it was an excuse. That was it. Because everybody knew about Max Crosby's injury and all that, but you're still going to have to pay for Max Crosby. Like, let's be real. But Trey, they could get at a cheaper price.
To cancel the trade, maybe, but I don't know.
No, I'm saying, like, if you wanted Max, whether he's got this injury, whatever the case may be,
he was going to cost.
You were going to give up a lot. Yeah. But they got Trey cheaper, and they get their first round pick. But it sucks because any other team that was interested now went for a different position, spent that money elsewhere.
Right.
Because they thought Max was off the table.
No, well, supposedly, now there were rumors going around, or at least there was some reporting. I don't want to say rumors. There was some reporting going around that the Ravens were talking to Trey even after they already had Max Crosby. So they wanted to team them up together, which, good Lord, help us all if that were the case. Sorry to be anybody in that division. But here's a report of potential timeline that happened. After Max Crosby was traded, 4 or 5 teams, including the Eagles, the Colts, and the Bills, were in talks with Trey Hendrickson's camp Tuesday trying to hammer out a deal. Midday, those talks stalled and communication was lacking compared to the morning. Teams involved got the sense that something major had changed behind the scenes. We now know that the Ravens had jumped in and aggressively started pushing to get a deal done at a number bigger than anyone else who was offering. Then Max Crosby's trade fell through and it became public. At that point, other teams realized Hendrickson was going to end up in Baltimore. Then that morning, after the Hendrickson trade or the Henderson deal was done, and Max Crosby is back with the Raiders and was in the facility as of later this week. And now the Ravens are even saying that they don't anticipate on letting Max Crosby go again. He's just going to become a Raider, and he's just going to stay there now, even though they have had other teams inquire about it, though. But it sounds like the Raiders may be having some cold feet, and there were rumors that they wanted to keep him anyway if they could make it work, and if they weren't getting 2 first-round picks, you might as well keep him at this point. So, but yeah, so the question right now is, though, should the NFL investigate or punish the Ravens? At least investigate it potentially, in my opinion.
I would.
I mean, because at least you should have to prove or show that he somehow failed a physical, I think, if that's going to be the excuse you use. But I guess right now, by the letter of the rule, they didn't break any rules. But it just feels icky, if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion. So
I'm sorry, what did I miss? I'm sorry.
Talking about the Max Crosby trade falling through and them signing Trey Hendrickson, and people think the Raiders are shady. So what do you think?
Yeah. I think that there's that tells me Max Crosby's injury is a little more severe.
Do you believe the Ravens, though, that there was a failed physical, or do you think they just said that? Because that's the speculation.
No, like I said, I think they got a better deal with Trey.
That's what I thought initially, too.
Trey, and it's easy to lean on the injury as why you're not going to sign Max Crosby instead of just coming out and saying we got a better deal for Trey.
And then once they did, you get 2 first-round picks back. That's huge because the Ravens gave up the house for Max Crosby, which, I mean, I get it. We just did the same thing for Sauce Gardner, so I understand. But, yeah, if you have the opportunity to get a guy who's comparable potentially, maybe a little older, but comparable, and you get your first-round picks back, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I don't know if I believe the Ravens or not. I don't. I'd like to think that nothing shady happened here, but this isn't the first time the Raiders have backed out of a deal like this. There's been multiple instances in the past where they have. So, again, if this is something that's a regular thing, maybe the NFL should, and I believe the other NFL teams are probably going to push for this, maybe a potential rule change so this doesn't happen again. So I fully believe that may be coming because I've heard when it comes to
pass their physical before they're on the trading block anyway.
Well, here's the thing, man. It was the tampering period. Nothing was signed. So that's why it wasn't necessarily required yet, because it was basically, let's just hammer out a deal and then we'll sign it come Wednesday. Wednesday came, they already backed out. So technically, like I said, by the letter of the rule, they didn't break any rules, but it just feels damn dirty, if you ask me. So I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah. Mike said, Why do I feel Matt is coming back with a baseball file larger than the professor's list of yearly fantasy football trade offers? Fair.
Damn.
A guy we used to work
Damn.
with, for sure. And he said, damn, I thought Matt was coming back with tons of baseball notes or a large late night dinner tray. That was possible. Did you bring any food with you?
Oh yeah, I forgot my baked potato.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Now he's got to nuke it. Hot potato. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I was a little miffed, especially when I heard that the Colts were trying to get Trey Hendrickson, which is a guy I've been hearing for over a year. They were looking to get. I was kind of hopeful because right now, our pass rush kind of crap now, and our linebackers are garbage. Now we've lost a lot of safeties. Our defense, Brandon, may be awful next year. I hate to say it. So let's hope that offense looks good, but we're talking about that in just a second. But of all the signings that happened this week, I was really excited when I heard that Geno Smith
one made me laugh.
with Wendy's. When he signed with Wendy's, and I thought that was going to be a great pickup. However, did not happen. It was not that to be. Geno Smith actually ended up, I believe, getting traded to the Jets as we start the rest of these big moves here. Let's see if I can kind of widen this out here a little bit. But so I'm thought we go over some of the more important ones here. Obviously, one of the big ones this week was Kyler Murray officially going to the Minnesota Vikings after the Colts signed Daniel Jones to an extension. More on that in a second. Kyler Murray and looking for a home. The Vikings were clearly looking for potentially a replacement for J.J. McCarthy, but I feel like J.J. McCarthy's kind of be like, and Kyler Murray are going to be kind of like our next team, Tua Tagovailoa going to the Vikings with Michael Penix. I feel like those two teams are going to have quarterback competitions to see who potentially be the starter there.
Did you see the meme where it was Michael Penix on the walker
No.
with the two knee injuries, and then it showed Tua on the stretcher and said that's the new quarterback room for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I mean, if one of them can stay healthy, I mean, you got Bijan Robinson back there. Plus, they've been stockpiling wide receivers. They got
Bijan,
Alameda,
my friend.
Zacchaeus. Yeah.
Be smart, do the right thing, and request a trade.
Who, Bijan?
Get out of Atlanta,
Brother.
or you will be stuck in Browns.
I don't know about that, man.
It'll be Browns all over again.
Penix was playing okay before. And I can't remember what was. Hold on, let me look and see. There was another wide receiver that went to Atlanta in the free agency last week, and I can't remember who it was. At Atlanta Falcons.
Or Drake London. We lost him to the Falcons.
Okay, so well, yeah, the Falcons have Drake London. They've got Kyle Pitts. They just re-signed Austin Hooper. They picked up Jahan Dotson from the Eagles. Used to be with the Commanders.
Jahan.
And now they got Zacchaeus from Chicago, who was actually a decent little receiver there. So their receiver core is now stacked. If you can get at least a healthy, competent quarterback with Bijan, that team looks good on offense. So I got no problem with that. But yeah, they got to stay healthy. That's the key. Kyler Murray, he's got Justin Jefferson. As long as he can throw it in when it's open, unlike he did Marvin Harrison Jr., we'll see how it goes. And J.J. McCarthy may be, again, they're maybe trying to push him a little bit here too because he didn't look great last year. So maybe a little quarterback competition is good for him for sure. Mike said, gang, I got a bail, got an angry 3-year-old that won't sleep. Matt, I anxiously await your baseball season preview and predictions next week. Good night and God bless. Well, good to have you on the show, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
We'll see you again next week. Hope the little anger when I'll get some sleep and we'll calm down a little bit there for sure.
We'll have to go through the bracket next week too because Selection Sundays.
Oh, my God.
For March Madness? Yeah, well,
Yep.
I haven't even thought about that yet, so I'll have to think about it. What, Brandon?
Some of these moves.
Oh, yeah, well, we got some more here. So let's
We'll
run to
talk
the one
about
I got. And I'm only showing you the big ones that I caught here. There's other moves that's gone around throughout the league. There's just so many between last week and this week. I can't cover them all. Isaiah Likely, though, the tight end from the Baltimore Ravens, who was always behind Mark Andrews, he now moves to the New York Giants. I think it'll be a little solid pickup there. I think he's highly underrated for the Baltimore Ravens. So Giants are going to get a win there. Commanders are signing Rashad White from Tampa Bay. We also got Minka Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins heading to the Jets, as well as Geno Smith was traded to the Jets as well. So we got Travis Etienne, although this week he said his name's always been pronounced Achan, but teams didn't know how to pronounce it, or players that he played with didn't know how to pronounce it, so he's gone by Etienne. But he's asking everybody to call him Travis Achan now. So Devon Achan in Miami. Now we got Travis Achan in New Orleans as they sign, which I think is a good little pickup for New Orleans. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what that means for Jacksonville's running backs for sure right now, but either way,
I think that was a move to sell tickets. That's what I think.
Well, the New Orleans Saints need something.
We need something to have fans.
I mean, Alvin Kamara ain't getting any younger.
No,
Anyway,
Alvin Kamara belongs in arena football. Proceed.
One of the bigger signings this week on the bottom right here is the Super Bowl MVP running back from the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker is now a Kansas City Chief. So that is that's a big pickup for the Chiefs.
That's awesome.
On top of the facts that it has now been confirmed that Travis Kelce will be returning for one more season in Kansas City. So one more year of Travis and Taylor Swift, I suppose, as he signed a 1-year deal. So that's not over yet. But you add Kenneth Walker to that offense with the young wide receivers and with Holmes coming off an injury coming back, that's kind of scary. I ain't going to lie to you. And, of course, since Kenneth Walker signed with the Chiefs, now Isaiah Pacheco has now gone over to the Detroit Lions to back up Jahmyr Gibbs after the departure of David Montgomery. So bunch of movers and shakers at the running back spot there. So now it's Gibbs and Pacheco. Maybe he'll be Sonic, not Sonic and Knuckles. Maybe they can call Isaiah
Eric, where did David Montgomery go?
David Montgomery went to the Houston Texans. We talked about last week.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a big.
So he's there.
Yeah, he's there, and unfortunately, that's the division. We also got.
I'll put a $5 crisp bill.
On what?
On the fact that he will outrush Jonathan Taylor next year.
I wouldn't be surprised by that, actually, based on the way our team's looking right now. But hold on a second. I know. I want to hear what you say in just a second. But with the Buffalo Bills also signed Bradley Chubb from the Miami Dolphins. We also got Romeo Doubs, a receiver from Green Bay, now heading to New England. That'll be partially to replace Stephon Diggs there after they let him go. Stephon Diggs, who still has not found a team yet, interestingly enough, after his off-the-field issues. And Mike Evans, the longtime receiver of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will now be heading to the San Francisco 49ers. That could be one piece of the missing cog, I guess, in the wheel, as you say. You had him to McCaffrey and then Brock Purdy. And Juwan Jennings is another wide receiver who's a free agent right now. After what the Colts had lost earlier this week, which we're about to get into, I wouldn't be upset if the Colts signed Juwan Jennings, to be quite honest with you, if they were to do so. That would be a guy I think would maybe be a good little on the other side of Alec Pierce. So we'll see how that plays out, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. But Mike Evans, ironically enough, is 3 seasons behind on the 1,000-yard receiving record behind Jerry Rice, and now he's going to be playing for Jerry Rice's old team. So I find that kind of ironic. But I don't know if he's going to catch him or not, but either way. And, of course, this is the big meat of the deal here with our two teams here between Miranda and
go.
So the Colts have extended Daniel Jones to a 2-year, I believe it was $44 million. He was originally asking for $50 million a year, when a lot of people around the league are like, are you insane? You had 8 good games coming off of a Giants team where you sucked, and then you get hurt and you demand one of the highest paid contracts. Are you insane? So much so that this clip from Rush Hour really made its rounds.
The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million?
The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
I mean, seriously. So, yeah, can you imagine asking for that? But anyway, Daniel Jones got close to it. The deal ended up being $44 million a year for the next 2 years. However, he has incentives to where if he plays well enough, get playoffs or whatnot, it could be up to $50 million a year. So he gets what he wanted for at least 2 years. And the way I look at this here is, even though it is a lot of money, we don't have first-round picks for the next 2 years due to the Sauce Gardner trade in Indianapolis. So it gives him a 2-year window, Steichen a 2-year window, Bauer a 2-year window. If it don't work, you cut Jones, you get rid of all these general managers and coaches, you start fresh with a first-round pick in 2028. That's what I think the strategy is here. Otherwise, it would have been a longer term. And if he plays well, you extend all of them or whatnot. But I think that's where it is right now. Same with Alec Pierce. Him and Jones have a good rapport and a friendship, apparently. So that makes a lot of sense. Their big priority was to get Pierce signed to a longer-term deal. I believe it was a 4-year, $116 million contract. Now, and we'll get to the other half of this wide receiver deal in just a second. Colts also traded away Zaire Franklin to the Packers. They got Colby Wooden in return. Never heard of the guy, which is my first. Who has? Who?
I've heard of it.
Have you? Well, I mean, yeah, but what has he done on the field? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying any of these guys suck, but I've never heard. Well, we'll find out. We got Braden Smith from the offensive line heading to the Texans as well. So we also got Kwity Paye heading to the Raiders. There was a bunch of other. Nick Cross left as well. The Colts have lost more guys than they've gained, and the guys they picked up, like Derek Nottie, Arden Key, Colby Wooden, they just went and got another guy, which we'll show in just a second, from the Bears, who Matt thought was another player, but wasn't. But
I was hoping it would be that one, but that's
he thought it was the cornerback for the Bears who was turned his back to the field when Hail Mary won the game for the Commanders, and he blew the coverage. But it wasn't him, thank God. Otherwise, but at the same time, when Matt mentioned that in our chat, I thought, you know what, the way the Colts are doing stuff, I wouldn't be stunned if it was that guy. You know, so that's why I had to double check. I was like, please tell me it's not him. Please tell me it's not him. It wasn't, thank God.
Not being right.
Yeah, but one of the bigger moves though here is for Miranda's Steelers, and with the first pick in the fantasy football draft, Miranda selects Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman Jr.
which she has taken in the first round a lot of years before, but now that he's a Steeler, I fully expect him to go to Miranda. So at least he stays in the Dragon's Den family here. I'll say that, and I'm not gonna lie. Calvin Austin the second, I think he ended up going to the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But with the loss of him, Michael Pittman alongside DK Metcalf and Freiermuth and Jalen Warren, that sounds like a decent offense. Now you just got to figure out who the quarterback is. We still don't know. But it sounds like it'll probably be I'll tell you right now, if it's not Aaron Rodgers and he's waited till after all the free agents are gone, and if he even waits till longer after the draft and he doesn't stick around, talk about an FU to the Steelers. He needs to let them know. He should have done it already. As much as I'm all for some of Rodgers' political views, that's a shady move if you don't let your organization know. I mean, dude, your ego does not need to be stroked that much if that's the case. So he needs to get in and let them know. But we also got another backup running back for the Steelers, Rico Dowdle, who was with the Cowboys, and I believe was with the Panthers most recently, is now the backup to Jalen Warren, as I believe Kenneth Gainwell also went off to another team. So, but some movers and shakers for our two big teams here. That's the biggest news for the Steelers and the Colts. So, first of all, before we get into the Colts, Miranda, what do you think about Pittman? And I guess the Rodgers situation. You got anything you want to say about the Steelers?
I'm curious to see what Pittman does for. I mean, I know what he looked like with the Colts.
Well, and with the Steelers,
shit for me when I had him.
Well, the thing with the Colts was he was kind of de facto their number one guy. I've always kind of looked at Pittman as a really great number two. So if you've got DK Metcalf on the other side, this may actually fit Pittman better than it did, depending on who he's got throwing the ball. Now, to that respect, though, the Colts have not been consistent with the quarterbacks over the last few years. Just in the last 4 years alone, they've had 12 different quarterbacks thrown to Pittman. Now, I don't know who's going to be throwing it to him right now in Pittsburgh, but if they can get some consistency there with Pittman, it could be good. So I don't begrudge Pittsburgh for going after Pittman here. And of course, and not only that, the Colts sent a 7th round pick to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh in turn gave us a 6th round pick. But it's like we're giving away a player and we still have to give a pick just to get one back. Like, what are the Colts doing? You know, I don't understand. But it was mostly about getting cap space back with Pittman. I think a lot of.
I kind of understand. I'll explain later.
Okay, well, we're at the Colts here, and they also signed Jonathan Owens, which is the guy Matt thought was the Bears safety. But
all right, I got potty before we get into anything else. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, that's cool. So yeah, and now of course the Colts are also there's reports now saying that the Colts are in active trade discussions with multiple teams on Anthony Richardson, which could lead to a deal happening this weekend. The Buccaneers, Chiefs, Lions, Packers, Rams, and Ravens are among the teams who have checked in with the Colts, and it's believed to be for a day 3 pick. So we're looking at maybe around 6 or 7, at this point, which is basically for peanuts. But at this point, his value is not up there, so you'll be lucky to get anything from him at this point. Right. So, all right. So, Matt,
unless somebody sees something and we don't.
Okay.
Go for it, Matt. What do you think?
I think that the Indianapolis Colts moves were to restructure the team in a way that they could build in a different way. Okay?
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I'm saying you have Daniel Jones now. You have Alec Pierce. You've got your Woody and Buzz. Okay? You do.
As long as he's ready to go, which that report you're saying.
I'm serious. That's your Woody and Buzz. And let me tell you, I'm not unimpressed with Daniel Jones. I think a lot of Daniel Jones's problem was New York.
And he was hurt at the end of the year last year.
And New York, you can't even hear yourself. New York has so much crap in it that you can't even hear yourself play. You know, I mean, you don't know who you are or if they're good or if they're not, you don't. You don't know.
He had Saquon Barkley and with no receiver.
Yeah.
Then Barkley left. Then he had one receiver for 1 year. So what do you expect?
And that's fine.
But you can't say that when New York was actually working through the playoffs last year too.
Right.
Fair enough.
Brandon's right. Brandon's right.
Injuries.
The injuries that happened.
Mm-hmm.
My point of the fact is this. What are the two major needs for Indianapolis now? Okay. After looking at this right now.
Well, line's not as bad. They need depth at line.
Depth at offensive line. Okay. You could probably find that in the 4th or 5th round.
The big key needs for the Colts are defensive end, linebacker, which is down to Jalen Carley's, I think, is like their top guy, and then safety right now.
That's correct.
And
you just signed a safety with the Bears. Am I right?
Well, yeah, and then another guy I've never heard of too. So they got 2.
Okay, so you got 2.
And I believe Charvarius Ward go back
that's
there.
Depth.
But Charvarius Ward has had 3 concussions in a year. But he's still there too.
And that's fine. He's still there.
For now.
For now.
What about what are wide receivers that we have left?
All right, hold on. Well, let me break this down real quick before you move on, man. So the receivers, you got Alec Pierce is probably your number 1. Josh Downs at the slot, which is I like that. You have got to get Tyler Warren more involved at tight end this year.
Yep.
1,000%. And on the other side,
do we have
the other side? Well, Pierce is your deep threat, and then the other guy right now it looks like Ashton Doolin, or Laquan Treadwell, which is not great. But if we got plenty of tight ends too. Start using some 2 tight end sets. That'd be a great way to go about it, I think too. But Downs will be in one of the slots, and you'll have Pierce, and you got to maybe the draft you can address that the other side of Pierce. That's the only thing. Now on the defense,
did either of you watch the draft combine?
No,
none of you did.
No.
I am not surprised that no one did the reading or the homework that I have done. I am not surprised of this. Okay,
you seen one, you seen them all.
Okay. Well, this draft in particular, is really heavy with defensive ends and really heavy with linebackers and really heavy with wide receivers. All of them are. All of them are. They are. They are. You've got Omar Cooper. You've got Elijah Surratt.
Well, that's just from IU, but yeah.
From Ohio State, I know Brandon knows this because he watches Ohio State. They've got Sonny Styles.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Downs' brother. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he's in the draft. I'm not positive of that.
Does he play receiver?
He plays DB and wide receiver.
I was going to say,
but he's mostly a DB, and he plays DB at the college level. Anyways, you've got Miami was loaded with defensive players. I mean, that whole team looked like they could.
Well, here's the thing.
Run a sawmill.
I got your point. But here's the thing, though, Matt. Before we go on here.
Okay.
Regardless of who they draft, they're still going to be rookies this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of who they draft. Now, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball for the Colts, the losses like Kwity Paye, Nick Cross, Zaire Franklin, guys like that, I can see maybe why some of them are being let go, mostly because they may not fit Lou Anarumo's scheme. Lou Anarumo came in last year. Zaire Franklin 2 years ago was the leading tackler in the NFL. Didn't do anything under Lou Anarumo. So him coming in last year as a defensive coordinator, perhaps the Colts are thinking, okay, let's get pieces that we think will fit the scheme more than just sticking with the guys that we already have. So that regard, I get the moves in some respects. But you can't just start with a bunch of fresh guys nobody's ever heard of. And who knows? Maybe these guys will surprise me. I don't know. But you look at some of these guys' names and some of their stats, it's not impressive. So you're going to go onto the field with no defense next year? Is that the plan here? That's the way it looks on paper. But so
I don't know, man.
I know it's just rough. The offense may be serviceable, but I don't know. I felt better going into last year than I do now. Again, the draft may change my mind, but the draft again, like I said, it's still going to be a rookie no matter who you get. So they're going to be young, and the Colts may only have a couple-year window when it comes to some of these players like Pierce, and I don't know when Jonathan Taylor's deal.
And we don't have a first-round draft pick
for the next 2 years. So
like,
are your guys the guys you want to get going to last to the middle of the second round at best?
Yeah, that right there was the question I was getting ready to ask you, Eric. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Omar Cooper
I don't know.
From Indiana University will last to the second round.
Like I said, I only start paying attention to the
Because
college prospects.
There is one wide receiver and I compare him to him all the time. And me and Logan, my little brother, both agree with this. I don't know about you, Eric, but he reminds me of T.Y. Hilton.
Who?
Omar Cooper.
Okay. Well, and just because IU though doesn't mean he's going to be in this.
No, that doesn't. But I'm saying he looks like a Colt.
Well, and I'm not going to lie, I'll be happy with him.
I'm saying he would fit. He fits the scheme. He fits in at Indiana, being that he's already here.
But you asked though. Like I said, I don't always follow the college prospects until about the time the draft rolls around.
Right.
So, but here's the thing: I don't know if they'll make it to the second round,
I'm
second round or not, because I don't know the
stats,
depth of red receiver yet.
His stats and the way that he plays football, Eric, is a lot like T.Y. Hilton. He's fast. He's agile. He's got yards after tackle. It just seems like that's the direction you would go for if you're wanting a wide receiver. Now, but they're not
the only team, Matt. He could be picked up long before where we sit in the draft. Again,
right.
We gave up our first round draft picks, so we're fucked for 2 years. So like,
I understand.
If you're talking about him the way you're talking about him, and other teams see him like that, he could be gone long before we get to pick the first fucking time.
I understand that, Brandon, but what I'm stating to you is that would be the direction that you would go in if you were going to do it.
Now, we don't even know if the Colts are looking at it like a T.Y. Hilton.
And they may not be. They may be looking at somebody completely different. Like I said before, Texas Tech was a loaded defensive team. Miami was a loaded defensive team. If you want defense, it's there.
Well, we're going to need that more than receiver.
Yeah, it's laid out.
Because Ashton Doolin is serviceable in certain spots. I don't know if it's a full-time gig or not, but maybe it's time for next man up. I don't know. But yeah, defense is definitely going to be. Now, I like the fact that we got Sauce. I like the fact we still got Kenny Moore. And if we could get Bynum and Ward, they stay healthy. I like those guys. Now, Ward's definitely questionable because after 3 concussions, he may or may not even play. We'll have to wait and see. But the other guys outside of Latu, and Buckner and Grover Stewart, I couldn't even tell you who's on the defensive line right now. So, because, they got rid of Samson Mabukum too. So, yeah, it's just questionable right now.
And as far as getting rid of Pittman, it's a business.
Yeah, that's to get Jones and Pierce signed. That's what that was for.
Yeah, it's a business.
And you had to. And he'll be fine in Pittsburgh, I'm sure. But just kind of stinks because he
was a Zaire Franklin thing. Like I said, it's a business. And there's probably a scheme thing, like you said, Eric.
And that may be the big thing.
These guys like to have their players.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just he wasn't fitting in with the coach. And it might be a mutual thing. Maybe Franklin wanted to be shopped around. I mean, you don't know.
Well, it's just crazy to think, too, when you go back to this Trey Hendrickson thing, too. Can you imagine if Hendrickson and Leo Latu was on both ends? That clearly was their plan. It did not fall through, so now they got to figure out a backup plan. And just kind of stinks because it very well could have been
Latu really worries me.
So, yeah. I mean,
because if you looked at all his sack numbers last year, they were all against backups.
Better than Kwity Paye. Are you sure you're not confusing him for Kwity Paye?
No.
Latu looked good last year.
Latu's numbers, they were his numbers.
It's only his second year, too, though.
But they were against backups, tight ends, and that's great and all that. But do it against a Cam Hayward. Do it against somebody like that. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
You mean Cam Ward?
Yeah. Or do it against
the defensive player.
I'm talking about the defensive player. Yeah, I'm talking about the offensive line.
Who I believe also left Pittsburgh, by the way.
Yeah.
So the other guy they lost. But but anyway, that's kind of where we are with the free agency thing here. But like I said, another one that got let go last minute today was Titans released L'Jarius Sneed. So how long since the Chiefs traded away Trent McDuffie before the Chiefs go back and re-sign L'Jarius Sneed? I could totally see that being it, or the Chiefs, I should say. I think I said Jets. But yeah, the Chiefs, I could see him going back there to kind of make up. We'll see how that plays out. But as for
the Chiefs are getting the band back together.
potentially, maybe even adding a better running back. But
That's like the Captain America shield. I actually like that.
I don't know. This is the new Titans logo. They've officially moved on from their old logo. It was announced this week officially, which I think is kind of was expected. Obviously, a lot of talk earlier this year about it. But yeah, we go from the old to the new. It kind of has the old Oilers look a little bit about it too.
I like that.
Which is, makes a lot of sense too. So, well, here's the first look at some of the new jerseys and helmets for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, they look fresh.
So even though they are our division rival here for us Colts fans, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think they're pretty solid. And the red face mask, I think, kind of give a little bit of a Patriots feel
I like that.
in some regard. So yeah, good to see the Titans kind of updating some things a little bit here. Obviously, the Dolphins, the Jets, and a few other like the Commanders have obviously updated their logo the last few years as well. Still hoping to see maybe the Redskins of old maybe come back one day or so. Maybe once the new stadium is built or whatnot. Have to wait and see. So. But anyway, that's what's been going on in the NFL. You guys got any other thoughts on that? Those, like I said, the biggest names. There's obviously a lot of other ancillary moves and stuff. We'd be here all night long. We're talking about all of them, but those are the big hits.
Yeah.
So, and more to come potentially too. But those are
another thing about the Kyler Murray thing you were going to say, Eric. I was going to mention this on the whole topic of baseball relating to football. The Oakland Athletics offered Kyler Murray a contract during his free agency.
Oh wow!
Oh really? Well, a lot of people wondered if he maybe would go back to baseball, but
this is not uncommon because for the last couple of years, Jameis Winston was also offered multiple contracts by I believe, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And a lot of people don't realize this, but Russell Wilson is still under contract by the New York Yankees.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he is paid money by the Yankees. He shows up as a non-roster invitee every year. And they just pay him.
Huh. That's
good. Yeah, because they
drafted just to make money for doing nothing.
Well, they drafted him, and a lot of people thought of him as a publicity stunt. And he actually came through spring training one year and played actually really well. So
you think he'll go back there at some point? Maybe
no. His heart's in football, and that's where his mind and heart is. And
is he still with the Giants?
Respected that, but
I don't know. I think so.
Free agent. I don't know if he's a free agent or not because they're obviously going to go with what's his name? I couldn't tell you his name off the top of my head.
But like I said, there's a lot of football players that still have baseball contracts. Kyler Murray played baseball for Oklahoma, and the other one more recently that's been making new headlines now is the Northwestern quarterback that won the bowl game for Northwestern. Is the starting center fielder for Northwestern's baseball team. So he's making a lot of news and headlines doing that because it's becoming more common today.
Right on. So yeah, so that's and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm kind of intrigued to see what the New York Giants are going to look like now that they got Isaiah Likely. I think that, like I said, they went and got Calvin Austin. You get freaking Malik Neighbors and Scattaboo back with Jackson Dart. Sounds intriguing. I'm not gonna lie.
The Giants may be a playoff team next year.
Could be interesting.
They might make some noise.
I think they did lose. I think Wan'Dale Robinson played there. I think he's now tight.
The Giants and the Bears are the two teams that I think are the big.
But the Bears have lost a lot of players, much like the Colts did. So they're more. That offensive wide receiver room is now down to a Dunze, basically, and in Colston Loveland. So they're in a bit of a spot too with Caleb Williams. But like you said, drafts heavy on receivers potentially. That's probably where they're going as well. So I don't know. See how it plays out. But that'll do it for our sports this week, of course. But that probably means that we're about ready to head into our final segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're watching us live on YouTube and Facebook, we want to say adieu. We'll see you guys again next week for episode number 85 of the Dragon's Den podcast. But if you're watching us on Rumble or on X, we are about to switch over to our news and politics segment known as Dragon's Den After Dark. So you're going to see a brief 3-minute intermission, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all the stuff that's happening in the world. So if you're with us, by all means, stick around, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So see you guys in a few, guys. Once I can find the transition. Here we go.